Alex's call here on the 10-year. He wrote, the latest developments this week are likely to have lasting damaging effects on business confidence. Growth concerns are unlikely to dissipate over the near term and could, in fact, build further. And that leads to your rate call then for this year, Alex. In the Bloomberg, we've charted that. For the 2-year, you're looking at near 1%, and for the 10-year, looking at 1.75%. How confident are you that we get there?
So I think there's, we cut our Treasury forecast based off of our economists taking down our Fed funds forecast 50 basis points over the second half of the year. 225 basis point cuts, one in September, one in December. I think the rationale for them had been, I think, in the context of weakening economic data. It seemed like it was becoming increasingly difficult for the Fed to maintain an on-hold sort of outlook. Add to that the shock, I think, of the Mexican tariff proposal or action that the president announced, and that seems to increase dramatically, I think, the probability of the Fed, not only cutting rates, but it's sort of bifurcated. It feels like if there were some sort of resolution to this, maybe the Fed doesn't get as aggressive in terms of easing. However, potentially if we were to go between June and October to sort of the full amount, the full 25% that the president's proposed, that could actually, I think, push rates much lower than what we have.
And doesn't that make your life much more difficult? Because there are two paths here that are quite different. And even yesterday we saw President Lopez Obrador say maybe we'll get this resolved with Mexico and not have the tariffs. We have the Republicans saying that might go that way. So if you don't have that happen, Mexican tariffs don't go on, and in fact we don't go with the extra tariffs, then how much of a difference does that make in your projection on the yield?
I think the message you take away from this is uncertainty, right? The range of potential outcomes is much wider than it was before this happened. And not only is it wider, but in the event that there was some sort of resolution, like being talked about, you still have the lingering impact of here's the president taking a fairly unexpected and fairly significant action against one of our largest trading partners, and that I think in itself is a challenge to business confidence.